Hey loves, it's your girl DeeDee and welcome back to the channel. So I am back with another reaction video. Now this is another reaction to Dr. Umar Johnson, you guys. In this particular clip, he's going to be talking about Kamala Harris and he's going to be giving his thoughts on her. I definitely want to hear what you guys have to say about his take on this. So make sure you comment in the comment section. I want to hear your thoughts on this one. We're going to get into the video, but before we do, make sure you comment, like, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already.
Donations.
Make sure you hit that notification bell to be notified when I upload new videos. Definitely chime in down below. I want to hear your thoughts on what he have to say. Do you agree or do you disagree with Dr. Umar? So I'm gonna stop talking. Let's get into the video. Here we go.
One thing we not gonna do is let the Democratic Party manipulate us through fear mongering. One thing we not gonna do is let the Democratic Party manipulate us through fear mongering. Can somebody please contact Vice President Kamala Harris? Can somebody please contact presumptive Democratic Party presidential nominee Kamala Harris and let her know, if you want the black vote, you have to deliver black concessions. We will not vote out of fear of Donald Trump. Can somebody please go tell Vice President Kamala Harris what I just said? Can somebody please go tell the Vice President of these United States that if you want the black vote, you will earn it. You will not get it out of fear of Donald Trump. Somebody tell Kamala Harris that. She will not get the black vote because people are afraid of Donald Trump. We've been through that rodeo. We done already been through that rodeo. We've been through that rodeo with Joe Biden. We've been through that fear of the Republican rodeo with Barack Obama. We've been through that with Bill Clinton. We've been through that with Jimmy Carter. We've been through that too many times. We're not voting out of fear. We are voting out of concessions. We are voting out of resources. We are voting out of rights. We are voting for empowerment. We will not vote out of fear. Somebody go tell the Democrats that.
Listen, I have to agree with Umar Johnson on this one. You know, a lot of people are tired of this fear mongering. You know what I mean? Tired of people using us as pawns to when they need our votes. And I think he has a really good point here. We got to stop thinking that, oh, just because somebody look like us, that we're supposed to support them when they're not really offering anything in return. So I think he has a great point. And it has not worked. We do need policies. We need policies in place that will benefit us in some type of way, you know, as opposed to just saying, oh, we're not black enough if we don't vote Democrat. We got to stop thinking that because our mothers and our grandmothers voted a certain way, and that's just how we supposed to vote. Identity politics needs to stop. There definitely needs to be policy changes that benefit us as a community. And we also need to stop just looking for a party, something they just throw at us as a, you know, as, oh, we're going to just give them some fun stuff and they're going to be okay with that. And they're not going to really want policies that actually make a difference for black people. So I 100% agree with what Umar Johnson is saying at this point. Let's continue.
Somebody go tell the Democrats that. Now let me talk about my sister Sonia Massey, rest in paradise. Let me talk about my sister Sonia Massey, rest in paradise, who lost her life in Springfield, Illinois. Let me talk about my sister Sonia Massey, who lost her life in Springfield, Illinois, 3 times in the face. 3 times in the face by white supremacy.
Now, let me say, that was such a tragic situation. I just saw that, you guys, and I was just infuriated. When I saw that, I didn't know what to do. I felt a level of hurt that I couldn't understand. And I'm just like, that lady lost her life senselessly. There's no excuse for that whatsoever. It was just such a sad situation. Like she called the police to help her, not to be taken out. She called the police for help. They're supposed to protect and serve, and they show up and take this lady's life. This is not what they're there for. My heart goes out to her family. This is unfortunate. I couldn't even watch the video. It was too much. Why aren't any policies or laws put into place to protect black people? Because it seems like in a lot of these situations, we're the target and nothing's being done to stop it. So my heart goes out to her and her family. This was just crazy. That was a human being. That was a life that was easily taken without any remorse. Just such a sad tragedy, y'all. But baby, let's continue.
Let me say this to the entire 50 million American African population. If we let the Palestinians come to Chicago and show up and show out more than black people, we should be ashamed of ourselves. Black Chicago, black Illinois, it's time to show up and show out. And let me say this, don't be hijacked by the fact that the officer was fired because he was charged, because he was relieved of duty. Springfield, Illinois, listen to your brother one time. The reason that officer was arrested, the reason he was charged, the reason he was discharged of his duty is because the Democratic Party cannot afford to lose the state of Illinois to the Republicans. Do y'all hear me in the back?
We see this happen all the time where the person might get charged, and it rarely happens, but if they get charged, they get arrested, bond out, but then you still got to go to court and all that, and they still end up being found not guilty. And in this situation, I don't see, this should have been a clear-cut case. You clearly just took that woman's life for no apparent reason. How can you justify the officer's actions? Clearly, the camera shows exactly what happened, and there was no reason, no threat to his life or nothing like that. There was no reason for him to just shoot that woman in her face. That is horrible. Listen, yes, they charged him, they arrested him, but will he do some time for the crime? Because this was a blatant crime. Only time will tell, because usually they don't. They just slap them on the wrist, charge them or whatever, but then don't really charge them. They don't really do any jail time, and they go off to another district or another area and continue with those shenanigans. This particular officer had been moved from different precincts. If you look from 2020 to 2021, 22, and 23. So there must have been some issues with him where he's been moved several times. He just, you could mess up in one county or one district or whatever and just go to another one and just go to another one and go to another one. There's no consequences for their actions, and they continue to do it until they end up taking somebody's life, and nothing is being done. And we're out here talking about identity politics. You vote for somebody just because they look like you, but may not even be interested in your policies to make things better in your communities. That's crazy. That's irresponsible in my mind. But let's continue to see what Umar Johnson is saying. Let's continue.
He was only arrested and charged because the governor of Illinois is a Democrat. They can't afford for black people to turn their backs on the Democrats in Illinois. They already got the Brandon Johnson migrant conspiracy. They can't afford for Springfield, Illinois to turn up like Chicago is turning up. So don't you sit down and get comfortable because he was arrested and charged. That cop was arrested because they don't want to lose your votes. And what they're going to do is drag out his trial. They're going to drag out his trial until after Kamala Harris is elected. And after Kamala Harris is elected, they will find some way to give him his job back and drop all the charges. You know I know what I'm talking about.
And listen, he has a point once again, because we've seen it happen. It's not like we're just making it up. We've seen this actually happen and play out. We have to assume that, hey, they're not going to do anything in this. And if they do, it's only because, you want people to remember, that you actually did your job and did something so that you can get their votes. Otherwise, you don't really care about what happens to innocent people. We got to open our eyes and start realizing what's happening. It's a game that they're playing with us, and we're the pawns. So once again, he's on point with that. Let's continue.
So Springfield, Illinois, don't you get comfortable because that cop was fired. You better get up off your ass and join our brothers and sisters in Chicago, Illinois at the Democratic National Convention. Every black person in America. If there was ever a time for us to show up and show out somewhere, it's August 19th to August the 22nd. What we ain't gonna do is vote for Trump because we tired of the Democrats. What we ain't gonna do is vote for Kamala because we scared of the Republicans. Where's the anti-black hate bill? I ain't heard a word from the red or the blue. Where's the anti-black hate bill? Where's the George Floyd police reform bill? Where's the laws against over-suspending and expelling black kids? Where's the program to crush the school-to-prison pipeline? Where is the agenda to stop black femicide, black women being choked out in black women in the process of giving birth? I ain't heard a word from Kamala Harris. I ain't heard a word from Donald Trump. Has either candidate spoke on Sonia Massey's assassination? Has Kamala Harris spoken to Sonia Massey's execution by the deputy in Springfield, Illinois? Has former President Trump spoken to Sonia Massey's execution by the police, by the deputy in Springfield, Illinois? They ain't said a word about our sister. They ain't said a word about our sister and black women running around talking about Kamala Harris is the choice for the black community. She ain't even said a word about our sister being assaulted and assassinated.
Yeah, I hear a lot of people talking about Kamala and how they're going to vote for her just because she's black. There are people arguing, going back and forth about that. There are some who say that she don't even identify as black. And, you know, of course, we've heard her say in the past that she was not going to do anything solely for black people.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
It's just a lot to take in. And, you know, you have the choice to vote the way you want to vote, of course, but I really think the identity politic, that should not be the way that you vote. You need to look at policies who have your best interest at heart. So you got to be more mindful and a little bit more smarter in how you're going to vote. You know, no one can tell you how to vote, but you should be looking at the things that will possibly be better for what we got going on. And I do think that this fear mongering is a big deal. It always happens. It's crazy. It's a game that they're playing and majority of people see it. Let's continue.
We are not voting out of emotion. If anybody from the Republican Party plantation come to you with some fear mongering, if anybody from the Republican Party plantation, if anybody from the Democratic Party plantation come to you with some fear mongering, if any from either plantation, because we are the runaway Africans. We are the runaway slaves. We don't want the blue plantation and we don't want the red plantation. We want freedom. Don't you let these plantation slaves, these Democratic Party plantation slaves, make you feel bad because you too intelligent to be manipulated. Don't you let them manipulate your emotions out of fear. We're the only people asked to vote out of fear. We're not voting out of fear no more. Deliver us the resources. You got 3 months, Kamala Harris. You got 3 months, Donald Trump. Deliver me some resources. We want an anti-black hate bill. We want an anti-black hate bill. If we can't get no anti-black hate bill, you ain't getting no vote. We want reparations for the American African family. If you're not endorsing reparations, you ain't getting no black vote. That's right. We want qualified immunity eliminated for the police. No more qualified immunity for the police. If you can't deliver us the elimination of qualified immunity for the police, you're not getting my vote. If you can't do something about the school to prison pipeline, you're not getting my vote. If you're not going to stop the migrant crisis in the black community, you're not getting my vote. If you don't do something about all these black people in jail for crimes they never committed, you can't get my vote. We're not voting out of fear no more. We're not voting out of emotion. You better put some food on my plate. What you going to do about the banks practicing racism and discrimination against the American African people? What you going to do about all these banks discriminating against us and redlining us? What you going to do about gentrification? Ain't nobody voting for nobody out of emotions. Them days is over, brothers and sisters.
Listen, Umar Johnson was speaking the truth. I ain't gonna lie. He was saying a lot, and a lot of those things need to be addressed. We have to be smarter. We have to think smarter and not just go out here just voting just because, oh, whatever. She's a woman. Let's see a first woman as president when she doesn't have the credentials or the experience or anything to run the country. So listen, I'm gonna leave it here. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments below. Comment, like, subscribe to the channel. Definitely chime in below. I want to hear your thoughts on this. So I want to hear what you guys have to say. Stay tuned for more, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.